Hundreds of investors looking for the next big startup, and over 700 startup companies are getting ready for the annual GITEX conference later this year. GITEX is the biggest tech event in the UAE and the Gulf region, and one of the biggest tech events in the world. It's organized in October by the Dubai World Trade Center, sponsored by top UAE government officials. There will be representatives from over 140 countries, and about 100,000 visitors are expected to be there for the 5-day event. With us here in studio is George Giles, the co-founder of MEA Consulting, and also with us is Noam Azran, the CEO of BeeFree Agro, which last year won the GITEX SuperNova Challenge for startups. We'll get into that in just a second, but I'll start here with George in studio. I want to ask, much of our show today has been talking about the resurgent COVID pandemic. It is increasing. Could this impact the planning and the outlook for the GITEX conference in a few months?
Yeah, it's a good question. COVID for sure has been a limiting factor in business. Person to person, the first notice that we really got of this was CES 2 years ago, where their insurance would not allow them to go forward with the show and it ended up being canceled. For GITEX, the convention itself is backed by the Dubai government, and they spend a lot of time investing in how to do it properly. And even in December, when we went for the first time, they had so much planning and so much investment. They were really committed to moving forward, and they were doing it in a very safe way. They became the model for how events are run worldwide, which is now why Mobile World Congress, RSA, CES are moving forward this year. So I don't see that it'll be an issue. They may continue with some additional things that they may need with more tests at the airport, since they are a hub. But right now, we're planning to move forward.
There are going to be thousands of either startup companies, entrepreneurs, investors, government officials, and representatives and visitors at this week-long event. Tell me more about Israel's role, let's say last year, and what we can expect this year in October.
Yeah, for us last year, going to Dubai in the UAE was like discovering a brand new planet. You know, I went there first time 3 years ago and came back and told people about it. I went to this huge conference. There was 100,000 people, and they say, oh, you were in Vegas again, or you were in Barcelona. No, I was 3 hours away in Dubai, and they were absolutely shocked. There's a massive amount of opportunity there. The first event, actually, in December we went to is right after Abraham Accords got signed. We ended up taking over 80 entrepreneurs. Since then, we've had 3 events there where we've had hundreds of entrepreneurs with us and major businesses. We work with the Israel Export Institute, for example, who has 2 booths there this year. There's expected to be a lot of demand, not only from the Israeli side, but this region has a lot of demand in talking to Israeli technology companies, because up until August of last year, they were forbidden from doing business with Israel, and now it's a completely different circumstance. So there's opportunities on both sides for that.
I want to turn to Noam for a second. Tell me your experience. I mean, what was it like in Dubai at this massive, and I mean massive, tech event for you personally? And did you encounter kind of any cultural bridges that you needed to cross, or just the experience of being there with the in the Emirates?
Yeah. So first of all, it's very good to be here. And my personal experience, it was amazing to go to GITEX, and we're a startup company that started beginning of 2020, so pretty much at the same time as COVID. So it was really our first experience of coming out into the world and presenting ourselves and getting to know other people in the industry face to face. It was, I think the only bridge there is if you come respectful and you come open. We had an amazing experience there. Everybody was super inviting and friendly towards us. And very excited about the possibilities and opportunities of doing business with Israeli companies.
BeeFree Agro, tell us more about your company and what the SuperNova Challenge last year was all about, which you guys came out on top of.
Sure. So my partner and I were both livestock growers by profession, and we have developed a system for ourselves of managing and herding livestock in open pasture. Using drones. And what our company is all about is being able to do all this, but autonomously. So having the tool to give ranchers that can actually manage and herd and help them run their businesses in a much more efficient way. So that's what that's the base of what we're doing. Participating in the SuperNova challenge, it was an amazing experience. Like I said, we started during COVID, and the first time to actually present in front of a large audience, in front of professional members of the business world and the startup nation in general. It was great. It was super supportive. It was a lot of fun, and we really learned a lot from it. It helped us polish ourselves and bring ourselves to a place where we can more easily present ourselves and convey our message to whoever's interested.
And present yourself, to the world. And congratulations on that win in this competition. George, what are the opportunities for startups like Noam's and so many others? You go to an event like GITEX, really, what could you not only learn there, but what kind of investment could some companies walk away with?
Yeah, it's an interesting event when you put it in the perspective of other events around the world, where not only is the region looking to come buy technology that's already there, Microsoft, HP, Oracle, SAP, they come, but there's also a segment that they nurture of these startups. Over 400 startups are planning to come here, with even more investors who are coming to look to take a piece of equity into that to help them grow. So there's opportunities for small, medium, large-sized businesses. And even the statistics from GITEX show that 85% of the attendees from the C-suite, that senior decision makers, are waiting for GITEX until they make buying decisions.
Is it a lot of, like we saw, livestock, agriculture, water, efficiency? Or this seems, especially in the Middle East, seems to be important trends and important opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, for the UAE, the government sets the type of vision. They actually call it Vision 2030. They want to be 10 years into the future. So they push lots of programs and initiatives in order to get business to that stage where they can do investments. Right now, they have a program for 100,000 new programmers within the next couple years, which is amazing. So when they come to this type of event, there's opportunities in agri-tech, prop tech. There's massive digital transformation for anything to do with the cloud, e-commerce. And the UAE is really a model for the rest of the area, even though it's only 9 million people. For example, they import 80% of their food. So when you import 80% of your food, you have to come up with new food tech, which they're very interested on. Especially for us, we're doing lots of innovation in Israel around fake meats or lab-grown meats.
A lot of opportunity there.
There's a lot of opportunity in pretty much every sector, and Israel is very well matched to developing that and them investing in it. So it's a very natural synergy.
Yeah, GITEX in October. Thank you so much, George, for being with us. The co-founder of MEA Consulting, and Noam with BeeFree Agro, the winners of the SuperNova Challenge last year. Thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
And now